experience life as they meet with him and they find their sweet spot and they develop their gifts and they use it for his purpose. Not only that, but he has a special reward for those who lead them on his behalf. I'm going to read from 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 1 through 4, and then I'll make a couple comments. So he says this, "So I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ." And so I'm not, just so you know, I'm not saying that every person who goes through leader step, every person who's a leader is an elder, but I want you to watch what happens here because that's a different function. So, I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, as well as a partaker in the glory that is going to be revealed, to shepherd the flock of God that is among you, exercising oversight, not under compulsion, but willingly, as God would have you, not for shameful gain, but eagerly, not domineering over those in your charge, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the unfading crown of glory. Started this by saying there's a special reward for those who lead people to him, and that there it is, the unfading crown of glory. But there's a couple of things I want to pull out, a couple of words I want to pull out from this text here in 1 Peter 5. And the first is that he says that this happens among. So those are the people with whom you're presently associated. Now, I got to be honest with you. This is tough because those are the people who know you best. Those are the people who know your strengths. Those are the people who know your weaknesses. Those are the people who know where you've been. Those are the people who know where you've screwed up. And so that's tough, but that's what we're called to do. And that's why we need to connect with Jesus, because it's Jesus who transforms us. And when we connect with him and we are in touch with how he's moving in our lives and we tell the story of what he's done for us, that puts us in a position to lead and to bring others with us. And so then he talks about shepherding. And the idea here is this is not the boss, but this is a caretaker. If you're going to be a leader of people, then you are the shepherd of the people. You're taking care and you're guiding them for the master's purpose. And so then that comes in, he talks about here exercising oversight. And oversight equals servanthood. And servanthood is what makes you great. I always think of Jesus speaking to his disciples, and the mom of James and John goes to Jesus. She wants something special for them, and so all the guys then are arguing about who's the greatest. And Jesus never rebukes them for wanting to be great. Jesus will never rebuke us for desiring greatness. In fact, in response to that, Jesus says, "You guys want to be great? Let me tell you how to be great." And he explores an idea. He says, the path to greatness is servanthood. If you want to be great, the way to be great is to be a servant. And so then he says, well, we do all of this how? Willingly. It's not for gain. We don't get. If you want to lead in order to get, you're doing it wrong. It's not about getting. We lead, we do to give. Getting comes later in a variety of forms. That can come in promotion, where you get greater responsibility, or your reward, which is here or in heaven. So that will come later, but the purpose is not to get, it is to give. The last of these ideas here for leadership is that leadership lessons and character development occur best and then I'll run through some bullets for you. How do these occur best? In any leadership opportunity, not just your ideal one. As you're developing as a leader and leadership opportunities come up, you want to jump into it. You don't want to wait for the one to go, I don't know about this, or I don't know about that. I know the exact one that I want. No, not just your ideal one, but any leadership opportunity as it comes. Why? Because the struggle is good. Struggling and working forward and finding some places where you got to develop and working through that development that pushes you forward, develops your character, and teaches you leadership lessons. So those occur best in places that you're over your head, where you're not quite ready. In fact, if you're ready, you're late. I'll never forget one conversation I had with my dad. I went into him and I was being asked to take on a really big leadership challenge, and so I went into him, and he's sitting there, and I think he's just typing away on some emails. So I knocked on the door, walked into his office, and said, "Hey, you know about this opportunity?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you think I'm ready?" And so he's typing away, and he chuckles. He sits back, and he goes, "Well, there will be ample opportunities to learn where you aren't." So I'm like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "You're not ready, but you step into this opportunity, you will be. Like, this is the right thing. Go for it. You don't have what it takes yet, but that's okay, because God's going to develop you. So if you're ready, you're late." Leadership lessons and character development occur best in circumstances where there is potential conflict. Conflict precedes growth. Growth comes after conflict. And so we want to step into those as they occur. Leadership lessons and character development occur best in situations where you're uncomfortable, where you don't know the way forward. Why? Because you got to develop. You got to